behind and almost there. For Nebraska and the Scarlet, for Nebraska and the Green, though they go through many battles, our colors still are sailing. So the contest and win the free, we will wave them for the team, and we'll always stand our core Husker, the Scarlet and the Green.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Matt.
I'm Jimmy.
We are two average guys. Thank you for joining us today on this sulky Saturday.
Gosh, it's Saturday. It feels weird.
It is
It's like
Saturday. It does
Sunday.
feel weird because normally we do this on a Sunday. But, yesterday was not really a day for the Huskers in general.
It was a sad day for Husker Nation.
Start off with a pretty ugly football game, followed by a pretty ugly volleyball game, followed by, well, I think soccer was on around the same time.
Yeah.
But soccer also lost in the Elite Eight. But so overall, just
Good for them for making it that far.
Yeah.
They're
that was
great
historic.
season.
They never done that before, so that was
cool.
That was really cool to see. We're not really big soccer fans, but again, anytime you have success like that, it's going to continue. Hopefully, you see continued success.
I mean,
for Huskers
I would
as
go
well.
watch women's badminton if it was Huskers, right?
I thought you were just going to say because it's women. I mean, women in shorts, I guess,
I
right?
guess.
No, but it was still a good season for the girls, and volleyball. Wisconsin they had more motivation, I think, than did Nebraska. And Nebraska had already won the Big Ten outright. They're already probably going to be a number one seed when it comes to the volleyball tournament. And I don't think they're going to lose their number one spot because they lost yesterday, even though they got swept.
Could be interesting if they see Wisconsin in the Final Four or the national championship, how that will go.
Yeah, I really do. I really do believe that. So, but you know what? Hey, our Mavericks won.
Yes.
So that's always fun to see. It was not the best game for our Mavericks. If you're a Maverick hockey fan,
But the women Mavericks made the NCAA tournament too.
yes,
They won the Summit.
Yes, the UNO Maverick
good for
volleyball
them.
team. They won the Summit. And that's pretty amazing. They beat UMKC, and so that was pretty awesome to see them do that. There was actually a four-way tie in the Summit for volleyball.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep, but they ended up beating UMKC, so there's actually a four-way share for the Summit League title. But again, they get a share of that title, which is pretty awesome. And that was a reverse sweep. So they were down 2-0 and they came back and won. So my sister played for UMKC, and so interesting that UNO. I think they played them in their first year when UNO moved to the Summit. But pretty exciting to see UNO sports doing well. I know their soccer teams played really well this year too. So all around Nebraska sports. I mean, I think we're seeing an uptick in sports
Except for football.
overall. Hey, we'll get
I'm
there.
just kidding.
We'll
I'm
get
just
there.
kidding. Take it back.
Football. So, I just told Jim before we started, I want to get some grievances out of the way before we truly get into talking about the game. Grievance number one, CBS Sports. I hope Nebraska never plays on CBS Sports ever again. That was
They're always bad.
by far the worst announcing color commentary I've ever heard in any football game I've ever watched,
It was really bad.
including CBS Sports games. For a
Like for NFL?
yeah, well, and even college, like any game on CBS Sports, that was by far the worst I've ever heard.
They're usually pretty big SEC honks because that's where the afternoon games are on, but...
I like how you call them honks.
Yeah, they're honks.
But I thought it was very poorly announced. They're very, 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 very pro Iowa throughout the entire game, no matter how the game was going. But I do believe that was probably the worst called game I've ever had to listen to, and it was
really bad.
It was hard, and I have a problem where I can't mute games and watch. I really can't. I can't watch without sound. So maybe I turn on the radio next time. I don't know. But then you have a disconnect between radio and actual game time.
The radio's ahead of the TV.
Which I can't stand. But so I thought that was bad. So that's my first grievance. Anything to add on the announcers?
No, I mean, I just double down what you said.
Double down. Number two. A continued problem in the Big Ten, Jimmy. Officiating.
Sorry, Dad.
Number one. You call a unnecessary roughness late hit out of bounds.
Right.
When the guy, he was already in the process of making a hit, the guy just stepped out of bounds. That's not a late hit out of bounds. It's not. It gave him an extra 15 yards, and now I believe was the first touchdown of the game.
Right.
That was just the first of many things that didn't go right for the refs. But the biggest mistake that was made throughout the whole game, and I'm pissed off at multiple people here, not just the refs, but you have to look at whoever's running things in the booth as well. A whole 12 set. We ran an entire play where the clock did not move, did not run. An entire play. It had to be at least 12 seconds. That extra 12 seconds that not only that we got, but then Iowa got as well on the ensuing after the interception last week, whatever. But that extra 12 seconds was huge. That's a deal maker right there.
That's a game changer.
That game could have been over and gone to overtime because of those 12 seconds.
Huh? I guess I didn't realize.
Yeah. That was again. I don't know how that's missed. For one, how no one stops, calls down, and says, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna take a look at this and take a look at the clock because we screwed something up."
Yeah.
They didn't start the clock. How do you not start? How do you just fall asleep? Do you eat too much pumpkin pie or something and just too much turkey? Like, I don't get how that happens in any sporting event where the clock does not start and you don't go back and review it.
Interesting.
And then the last one I'm going to talk about is when they went to they didn't call anything on the field for targeting on Iowa. And then they called down from the booth and said, we're going to review this play for potential targeting. If they're calling down from the booth, that means it was targeting. Why else would they review it?
Yeah.
Why else would they stop the game? Now, do I believe that's targeting? No. But have you seen it called in other games?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's actually probably 3 or 4, and Nebraska got away with a couple too, that they could have called targeting, and they didn't. What you're seeing in some of these games that are called in just about every game you watch, and again, I'm not saying this is just Nebraska because Iowa did not get some calls yesterday that they should have, so this is all around officiating. But that's just bad. That's bad for football, and it's bad for the game. It's bad for the fans to see crap like that happen
They
over and over
got to
again.
get that figured out because it can be, or it is called differently from game to game.
Yeah.
And they've got to figure out a way. Like, sometimes I'm like, there's no way you can call that.
Yeah.
And they do. And then sometimes you're like, there's no way you can't, and they don't.
Yeah.
So they've got to. There's too much gray area there.
Well,
they need to figure that out.
I mean, Newsom held on to that guy's undershirt or his neck guard for like a whole 4 yards.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you don't see that and don't call it. Of course, we're all glad they didn't, but at the same time, it's like for the game, you can't miss those calls. You really cannot.
And I know it's essentially two different sports, college football and pro football, because there's different rules.
Yeah.
But you see a hit on a Sunday in NFL, and they're like, "Oh, it was a great hit," and you're like, "Yeah, but we did that yesterday, and our guy got kicked out.
Yeah.
And he can't play. He can't play the first half next week." And now you're saying it's a great play.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So it's interesting. So I do believe that we need to have. Something's got to be addressed with the offseason because the refs are just. I mean, it's so inconsistent.
It is.
That you also feel bad for the refs because it's like, what do you call? What do you not call? They change the rules so often.
Mm-hmm. That's
it's like, well, what's actually a penalty? What's not a penalty? What's targeting? What's not targeting? How do we handle this? How do we handle that? So it goes both ways, but at the same time, you got to be consistent throughout the year, and the Big Ten's got to be the most inconsistent officiating in the entire country.
Right, and I mean, one or two things can change a game completely.
Yeah.
So, like, the complexity of the game completely.
Yeah, 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Could have changed the entire outcome of that game. Donnie says he's watching Indiana-Purdue and it's just as bad. Again, no one's surprised. It's Big Ten
Why are you watching
officiating.
Indiana-Purdue when Michigan and Ohio State
I'm gonna guess
Unless
Don-
you're watching two TVs, Donnie.
Yeah, either that or he just does not
Or
like,
you don't really like either
team.
team.
Which I get. So that I really want to get that out of the way because if more than anything, losing sucked, but the fact that the way that the game was managed by the refs and then that play clock really just grind my gears. That was just not good.
I mean, I'm with you on everything. What I will say is, you can't score 10 points a game and expect to win. I mean, you can't score 10 points a game and expect to win.
Touché. You should be able to hold a team to 13 points
And win the game.
and win. You really should. Let's start off with. Do you want to start with offense or defense?
So, first and foremost, I'm going to go positive here.
Okay. I want to hear some
I saw
positivity.
somebody post on Twitter, X, who players we have coming back.
Yes.
We're really not losing very many players. Yes, Billy Kemp is gone.
But-
Luke Reimer is gone. But we got a lot of young players.
Yes.
And guys that have were fortunate enough to get some experience this year. Lloyd, Coleman,
Fleeks.
even I think Fleeks is gone actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a senior?
Yeah. So
I knew it was a transfer.
Just
Okay.
yeah, he was he played with Baylor when Rule was at Baylor.
Oh, okay. Oh, jeez Louise. Okay. Wow. So he's one of those ninth year guys.
Ty Robinson's coming back. We have, I don't know what happened in the game, but anyway, we have a lot of young talent coming back. So there is positive looking forward.
Yes.
And I didn't really know as many guys that made contributions this year that are young guys that have 3-4 years left.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's positive moving forward.
Yeah. Stay with the positives. Let's not go to the negative yet.
Then I guess we're gonna
do what we call a compliment sandwich. Positive, negative, end on a positive, because we are still Husker fans, just like Becky here.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't know where you want me to go because I did a positive, and you said
no. Stay positive. No.
Okay.
Overall, our show is going to be positive, negative, positive.
Okay.
I still have positive.
No,
too.
I mean, if you take a look at this is our probably our best defense that we've had in a season since maybe 2009 when we had Sue.
Yeah.
I mean, giving up 13 points a game and losing is just a real bummer, and I just don't understand how we can't have a good offense and a good defense in the same year.
Yeah.
But no, I mean another great game I thought by the defense.
Yeah.
I can't necessarily pinpoint anything exactly on that side of the ball that potentially lost us the game.
That's because we're staying positive. So
if we're staying positive, so
Butler had another great game.
Yeah, I mean we blocked 2 field goals.
Yes.
And lost the game. How do we do that?
Ty and Nash,
Sorry,
both are big dudes up front with 2 blocked field goals. I mean, that was awesome.
Those guys they're going to be studs next year.
Yes, those 2. We still have Princewell. We got Williams as well. I mean, our defensive line is going to be stacked again.
As long as we don't lose guys to portal, if schools come in with NIL deals, which I think is shady, but Houseman. Anyway, I think we should be pretty good.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Donnie asked about the portal. The portal again. It's a jump ball. It really the portal is right now. Again, it can be good for your team, but it can also destroy your team. And again, NIL and the portal, I think, are both. There's a good and a bad to college sports, especially college football. For us being hardcore football fans,
right?
But overall, for the sport, it's both. It's damaging, but it can be a really good thing if you use it correctly. And so far, we know Frost didn't do a good job with it.
Not really. No.
So I
was talking to somebody on Thanksgiving, and they said, "I bet Sims is going to leave and Chuba's going to leave," and I was like, "Those guys can't leave. They have to sit out a year."
Yeah.
But we got to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
We have to get a quarterback.
Yeah, so I think that's got to be our number one is getting a quarterback that, again, I don't mind having a dual threat quarterback, but we have to have a quarterback that's comfortable in the pocket, but also can move out of the pocket. Chuba did fine.
I think so too.
Chuba played a good game.
I think it's more on the OC.
God, yes. Hold on, before we get to the OC and Chuba. So Mike's got a compliment sandwich for us. So Mike, this is great. Sitting and sipping. Sellout streak. We suck. Our volleyball team is good. Sandwich. I like that. That's a very good compliment. That's a very good sandwich. I like it. I think Chuba. I thought had a good game. Great game, no, but it's the second start. Our offensive line, we had some undisciplined plays yesterday on the offensive line, which, again, we really didn't see much of the year, but they're also going up against a stronger and more physical defensive line.
I'm not taking anything away from Iowa because they have a great defense. I mean, they deserve to play in the Big Ten Championship and play one of these 2 teams, which, Michigan just scored a touchdown.
I'm going to reel it back a little bit. Their offense is so garbage that 10-2 is like a miracle that they got to 10-2.
The fact that they're 10-2 they just figure out a way to win, and we don't. Why can't we just figure out a way to win a 13-10 game?
God,
we can't. We can't do it.
4 games in a row. That's rough.
It was a really rough stretch to end the season.
Ken. I like Kenneth here. He says, stop punting and go for it. Stop punting. Go for it on 4th and short plays. line up and do the put. And yeah, I mean, Chubb is not the biggest guy. I don't trust Sims trying to reach the ball, but I formation, do something other than shotgun plays. We don't know how to run a short yardage play.
It's so tough in a game like an opponent against Iowa because they play such field position game. They could be at your 33-yard line and punt.
Yeah.
And pin you deep.
Yeah.
So you almost have to play field position rather than, because especially just the track record of going forward on 4th and short and us not getting it this season.
Yeah.
You have to pin them deep.
I think we actually on special teams. I think we might have won the battle yesterday in field position. Their punter had a couple really tough punts. Yeah. He punted one in the end zone. He pinned us at the 10-1.
He had one really shitty one too.
Yeah.
And we blocked 2 field goals. I mean, I think the special teams game we played better yesterday.
But we also fumbled on special teams.
We did,
which gave them the first score, and so that's a problem. We held. Well, no. Was that fumble? Was that 3 or did we block that one? That was early in the game. I think we blocked it.
That might have been the one. That might have been the first one blocked.
Either way, our special teams again. We still need to address a lot on the special teams side of the ball. We can't again 3 turnovers down. 3 to 4 turnovers a game when you have 30 fumbles in a season that you lose. It's one thing to fumble the ball 30 times. When you lose 30 fumbles, that's bad.
It's crazy because it's happened through multiple coaching staffs. So I don't know what needs to change or what we need to do. I mean,
Eagle Claw is not working, my man. Eagle Claw ain't working.
I mean, have you seen the program? Walk around the school with football in your hand, and if somebody knocks it out of your hand, then you're in trouble.
Every student should be trying to knock that ball out of their hand. Every professor. Bring it on. No, I don't know how you teach ball security. And again, some people are pointing to, the coaching staff still can't teach. That's not something you teach. I mean, you can teach ball security, but they're not holding on to the ball when you're in the game.
Right.
You have to still take it to the field and running with the ball like this.
Agreed.
If you're not covering it up right before you're about to be hit. I mean, damn, Chuba lost the ball when he was about to run for a first down on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8. He had a wide open running lane and he just dropped the damn ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
what?
He didn't knee it out of his hand. He just dropped it.
I know.
You can't teach that. That's poor ball control. And he should have seen that run lane right away and immediately. And I don't know if he was going to tuck it, but man, you guys just cradle that baby and take it in, and just that's all you had to do, and that was just frustrating.
It was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ben. So at some point it's the player's fault. So, yes, they are still kids, but hell, they're damn good at football. Damn better than I am, better than Jimmy probably ever was. And
speak for yourself, bro.
but yeah, at some point you have to look at the players and what they're doing on the field. And this goes for Satterfield as well. I still don't think Satterfield's the answer for Nebraska football. I thought his play calling yesterday was not good. The fact that, yes, Iowa's defense is good, but we didn't try enough on the run game. We tried to be too fancy on our passing. When we passed short passes, we were great. We were able to do some of those short passes, but then we have everybody running to the same side of the field, and then they come from the right side of their line, and we have all of our receivers going to the left side of the field on our offense. Chuba rolls out to the right. He's got no one to go to.
Yeah.
So he's got to throw it away. Or he has one guy, tight end, who's doing a button hook. And it's like, well, no, you got to go where the ball's going. And so we had some really bad play calling that I thought was just – it's like, why? Why'd you do that? And why don't you trust – I know, again, I'll let you go in a second. But
you're good.
Yes, we're outpowered up front. But our offensive line, you still have to give them a chance to let us win. And, again, I don't want to see trick plays. I don't want to see anything fancy. I want to see you go in there and try to pound the rock. And if it doesn't work, try to pound it a different way. Do something different. Run outside. Yeah, the option, we got a few, 3-4 yards on some plays. We're going 3, 4, 5 yards on first down. Continue to do that. You don't have to move at 10, 12 yards down the field at a time. That's not Big Ten football, and Iowa's not going to let you do that.
No, I get you. And what I was going to say was, I can understand it might be a little difficult for Satterfield trying to call plays when we've had 3 different quarterbacks play. I get that. But you have to play call based off of that particular quarterback's strength.
Yes.
Like their strengths.
Yes.
Not first and goal at the 5. Chubb has thrown 2 passes all season, and you try to pass twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know that it sounds like he's going to be back because Rule said he's not going anywhere.
Which is fine. Give him a second year. But if year 2 doesn't work out to where we're still seeing some of these offensive, again, not the turnovers, that's not on him. But if we're still seeing the poorly managed play calling, the plays aren't coming in, we got to use a timeout because the right guys aren't on the field.
Clock management,
that's
game
offense.
management, putting guys in the right positions at the right times.
Now, and some of that, we'll talk about clock management here. Some of that clock management goes back to Rule.
Oh, 100%.
And this is not the first game that we're going to talk about it because we've talked about it before.
It happened multiple times this season.
Yep. So
and it's happened with the last 2, 3, 4 head coaches as well.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I will never understand. I'm not a coach, so I can't really speak on it, but I'm going to because I don't know how you can't call a timeout and save 30 seconds. Or like last week, we could have called a timeout and we could have gone for a chance to win. Instead, we went for a chance to tie, and then we don't score in overtime, so we lost.
Yep. Yeah, I think we've seen less aggressiveness from Rule than what I'd like. It's his first year. We can give him a little bit of a break, but at the same time,
we were 5-3 and we lost the last 4 games,
yeah.
and we had a chance to win all those games and go bowling.
We already overachieved from what his standard is. He even said, "Hey, you know what I do. You know my system. You know what I do when I come in." So we're expecting, if we get 2-3 wins, that's great. We overexceeded that, but the fact that we shouldn't have lost to Minnesota, we shouldn't have lost to Wisconsin, we shouldn't have lost to Iowa,
Michigan State, we shouldn't have lost to Maryland.
So
Northwestern had an interim coach, and they won 6 games.
Yeah.
They're going bowling.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to have a better coach than that, and we're not. And we have better players.
Yes.
It's hard to get in Northwestern. You got to be really freaking smart.
Yes.
And they're going bowling, and we're not.
So that is probably where another frustrating point is the game management and clock management just was not. It wasn't good. It was just not good. And again, yesterday, I would have liked to see Rule getting in the ref's face about that clock on the extra 12 seconds.
Yeah.
We lost time, and that hurt us in the end.
Yeah. And it's only going to get harder next year. 4 more teams are joining the league, and they're all good.
Yep.
They're all really good.
Yeah, and I like Joel here, talking about being prepared to maybe there's not going to be a good transfer quarterback. And just being prepared for that. Yes, we all want to see that, but you also have to have not just a good transfer quarterback, but a good transfer quarterback that wants to come and play for Nebraska.
Right.
Those are 2 very different things.
Big time difference. Sam Hartman, maybe Notre Dame hasn't had as good of a season as they were expecting.
Yep.
But he was like the prize winner, and he went to Notre Dame, and they started out amazing. But are we going to be able to get somebody like that wants to come to Nebraska when they could go to a bunch of other schools? That's what and I know Rule was talking about this, but we need to spend some money on some NIL deals.
Yeah.
So we can get some players.
Yeah.
That's what everybody else does. Let's do it.
Yeah, and maybe, bringing Kalen in from Bellevue West, maybe that's going to be a big opportunity. And then you also get Benning coming from Bellevue West, or from West Side. I mean, there's opportunities for some of these young guys to come in.
Westside won the state championship 56-0. Yeah. We should just bring half their team.
Half their team. They have some big dudes too, but I think that's a good opportunity to see. Hey, we got QB battle up our ear hole because Purdy could. I think out of the 3 we have, Purdy's got to be the guy.
He's the guy.
Can Kalen come in and challenge him? I don't know. I hope so. Watching
highlights from this year, I'd say probably not. But
one thing that you do know is Harbaugh
is not.
Harbaugh is not on the sidelines. I think Heinrich Harburg is going to come in, and he's not going to just give up that easily.
I hope not.
He's a fighter. I hope to see some improvement from him too. I want to see him battling. But again, we know what we've seen from him this year is not what we need as a quarterback.
And I could see him, like you said, I do see him fighting for the job. Maybe change positions. Maybe transfers. Maybe gets an opportunity somewhere else.
Maybe. Yeah, you never know.
It depends on if we bring a quarterback or 2 in, because we might need to bring 2 in. We did it all with Sims. We went all in on Sims last year.
Yep.
Lost Casey Thompson because of it. That's another
Which is fine. I
wrinkle
mean,
that could have been interesting to see how this season played out because with the way Satterfield wants to call plays, I feel like Casey might have been a little better than some of the other quarterbacks we had.
maybe.
But we'll never know.
We will never know.
So, but we got to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
We got to get a quarterback.
Offensively, I mean, again, I talked about getting those little chunk yards up front, 3, 4, 5 yards on your first down. Man, you continue to do that throughout the game. Hell, Iowa ran 10 plays in a row, and they weren't even at midfield yet.
Oh, yeah.
10 plays, and they weren't at midfield, and they started at like 25. That sounds impossible, right? But somehow it happened.
No, I know. They said this is the 10th play of the drive, and I'm like...
And they're at like the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
So
That was a pretty incredible play by Michigan right there.
it was. But I just that's the frustrating thing too is that is not. It's not a hard thing to emulate. You have to just have the right play calling up front. And again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. What drove me nuts too about
And they had that fat quarterback.
260 pounds. Deacon Hill is huge. And he's not good. He is not a good quarterback. They're
lose this guy.
Yeah. And we lost to Brian Ferentz. But one thing I didn't like, too, is a lot of the plays that we called for, like, throwing to the sideline, Chubba would roll out, but he wouldn't throw it until the guy was at the sideline.
Right.
So then we're throwing it out of bounds.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're saying.
And it may not have been his first option. And I'm thinking he's looking downfield. Maybe he's looking for a downfield pass rather than the short route. But that short route a lot of times is open. And then by the time he decides to throw the ball, it's gone. And so he's got to throw it out of bounds or throw it in the ground. And that really hurt too. So, but that's some of the inexperience from him and playtime. So I see that could be an improvement next year too with some of those bootlegs.
Well, and it's funny too because I was talking to somebody on Thanksgiving and they said, is Chubba going to start at quarterback tomorrow? And I was like, I hope. And he was like, really? Did you see the Minnesota game last year? And I was like, yes, we were there. We left.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
We did leave.
But he was our best one we had. He was the best option we had this year. At least down the stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, Harburg won some games in the middle there, but it was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of funny.
So
So I'm like, yeah, we left.
Yeah. Joel mentioned, it's not about the money. It's about keeping the guys there that want to be there, playing fundamental football. It's a big part of it too. Again, like NIL is not, for most people, it's not going to make you rich. There aren't a lot of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark signing $1 million deals, which I think is the dumbest thing ever in the world. Shador Sanders getting a Cadillac or whatever the hell he got. Mercedes, but I don't even know. Rolls Royce, that's what it was.
Sitting out today. Yeah, and then he got
booted.
Got booted. That's so freaking hilarious.
But not everybody's going to get those $1 million, multi-million, or even hundreds of $1,000 deals. It doesn't have to be anything fancy for these deals for NIL. You don't have to throw a lot of money out there, but even something to where they can get their name out there and they can do something fun and exciting for the fans. And then you go on the football field. I mean, hell, look at Angel Reese right now. She's not even playing at LSU basketball. You know why? There's a lot of rumors about her GPA. I don't know if that's true, but you signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Nike, and now you're not even playing. So now what's Nike thinking? I mean, you got these people that are these kids that are signing these deals, and then their athletic performance goes down because now they're focused on social media. They're focused on commercials. They have to you're signing an endorsement deal. You have to do so many different things with that company. That what time
commercials? I mean, you see Caitlin Clark on the State Farm commercials with Jake.
So what time are you putting into your game and your craft? And now a lot of people now they're playing 6-7 years in college because guess what? They make more money in college than they might in the pros. Or maybe they won't go pro, but they're making so much money in college they don't want to leave.
I mean, yeah, you look at somebody like Ty Robinson. I mean, he could probably go.
Oh, dude,
he could make a roster next year.
I think Nash would make a roster.
They both would. Yeah, I mean, he's coming back. He got a 6th year, so he's coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of deals he's got. I don't know what kind of. I mean,
yeah.
I don't really know what any of the players have.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they got the Pipeline Jerky.
Yep.
Shout out to them because they're great.
Mm-hmm.
They have really good jerky. Check it out.
Which Zach does want to come on the show with us. I told him we get together at some point.
Oh, he wants to come on. Oh, sweet. All right,
get together with him at some point and talk
cool,
about
Zach.
it. But Ben here says he likes Chubba. He was a 4-star recruit. And they do think he's better than his brother. He does need to stay in the pocket longer. You know, that is actually really interesting, Ben. I mentioned that during the game yesterday, too, so I'm glad you pointed that out because I wasn't going to talk about it today. I do think he scrambled from the pocket early way too many times. He started to run out of the pocket, and I didn't really think the pressure was there. So I thought he ran out of the pocket, which actually hurt some of his options because when he would run, again, majority of the time when he did scramble, it was to the right. And all our receivers were either going the opposite direction, so he didn't give it enough time for that play to develop. I don't know if he was just getting nervous, anxious, which I guess sometimes that's why you scramble. But
probably just gotten accustomed
he doesn't
having to scramble.
Yeah, well, he doesn't want to make a mistake.
Right.
And again, I don't think our offensive line played that bad to where he didn't have time to stand longer in the pocket to get that pass off.
And he can run too, so
yeah.
I kind of get it, but yeah, I agreed.
I do think he was a little more indecisive yesterday on the run game than what he was last game. Not a lot more, but I think he was a little more decisive because times when he started to take off, Iowa's defense was right there when he could have taken off a couple seconds earlier.
They must have watched a lot of film and realized, man, Iowa's defense is really good.
Yep.
And so, which they were. He was probably just, like you said, maybe a little anxious, like, okay, I know I've got this much time, and then I've got to run or I've got to be on the move. And that's, what happens when you play against a team with a good defense. But I don't know. You never know.
Miguel, welcome back. Glad to have you here. Fire Rule. Bring in a real coach. Bring back a real. We haven't had a real coach in a long time. Besides Bo. Bo was our last real coach. If you want to talk about coaching, Bo was probably our last real coach. Obviously, we got Solo Childs. We all know the history, but we're not going to fire Rule after 1 year. I do think, like Mary Jankowski says here, that Rule really is developing a culture, though. The guys all talk about how they're buying into a system. They're buying into what he's doing. They want to continue to play for him. He even said that he doesn't think a lot of guys are going to go. And Miguel, we mentioned, you might have not been on the show yet, but we mentioned it. If Sims transfers, he's got to sit a year because the new rule. So if he transfers again, then he's going to be like 30 by the time he gets out of college. So I just
don't see those guys transferring.
And is he going to be, unless he changes positions at Nebraska or learns how to hold on to the ball, which I just don't.
He's gotten his chance.
We gave him a ton of chances, but
he got 27 chances.
What's his
fouled every single time he got one.
What's his NFL chance? Like slim to none, unless he develops at a different position. So Sims, if he stays, I think he's a good leader. We've seen that.
Yeah, the other guys love him. I mean, he's Harper's back. When he got benched, and I appreciate that, and we gave him another chance, and we saw what happened. So I mean, it is what it is. It's just not gonna happen.
Just cut him. He's got a scholarship. I think that's probably one of the worst things right now is now Sims has a scholarship that's being eaten up that we could maybe use for somebody else. That's probably the worst part about it.
They could go to him and say, "Hey, you might want to think about transferring."
And maybe
he could transfer to an FCS school and play right away. I mean, that is an option
because we know right now he's third on the depth chart.
Guys can transfer to South Dakota.
They can go D2. Yep.
Whatever.
But and that could be an option. Like, hey, Chubb is our 1. We got Heinrich at 2. We're bringing in Kalen. He's probably going to be 3. Who knows? That may or may not be the case. But
we should maybe, I don't know what he's going to do, but maybe Rizak from Westside.
Yeah.
He could be better than Kalen.
Could be. I'm surprised we didn't offer him.
He's got a preferred walk-on at Notre Dame and a few other schools, but...
The preferred walk-on is BS unless they follow through on it. They'll sell you that story all day until they actually follow up on it.
His brother's going to Notre Dame, so I get it, but...
They could pull a scholarship, though. And again, you can cut him, pull a scholarship, whatever. If you do that, he's not going to stay.
Yeah.
He's not going to. But anything's possible. I don't dislike him as a person. He seems like a really good leader. He seems like a really good kid.
In that first game, I really thought he was good. I mean, we only scored, 10 points? But
He was good with his legs.
He was really good with his legs, and I thought that the interception he threw at halftime in the Minnesota game in the end zone right before halftime, I thought that was just a bad play call.
Yeah.
But that's just, I found out later that was kind of how he was.
Yeah, that's kind of who he is.
I thought he was pretty decent in that game. And then by the time Colorado game was over with, I was like, he's terrible.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to say it like that, but I was like, we got to move on, I guess is what I meant.
Yeah. And, again, something that we haven't really talked about is just the amount of injuries we had this year.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that too.
So you have to. So again, yeah, it sucks that we got
Top
4
2
losses in
running
a
backs.
row, but we lost 2 running backs.
Wide receivers, which could be a blessing in disguise for down the road. That 2 local kids like Lloyd and Coleman were able to get reps.
Yeah.
And pretty good. Coleman could have won us the Maryland game by just catching the dang ball. That wasn't really thrown toward him, but no, so many guys. All your skill positions on offense.
Yep.
Bunch of offensive linemen. What's his name? Singleton. Mm-hmm. He was one of our best players on defense.
Yeah.
And got hurt.
Yeah.
And it was like we didn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
So that was a positive.
On Henrich
We're
out.
circling back to the positive now.
Yeah. We're coming back around.
The positive,
Coming back
negative,
around.
positive sandwich.
But yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, too, you think about some of the guys that had to come in and take over for those starters. Again, you didn't really see much of a difference. And I think our offensive line got better.
I think
be honest.
so, too.
And in the pass game and in the rush game, our offensive line got better once we had Cochran and who was the other one got hurt? Left side. Turner and Piper. And Piper got hurt. Those 2 guys, they really struggled at the beginning of the year, but
They did.
we had 3 remaining starters to end the year on the offensive side of the ball than what we started with. Nobody. I don't know if there's anybody else in the entire country that went through that. So the fact that we got 5 wins, and that was like 3 games into the year, 4 games into the year. It's not like that happened late in the year. So
we just gotta figure out a way to win. Just to learn how to win.
yeah,
A play, 1 or 2 plays in a game can cost you the game. We've seen it for 10 years almost. Literally, we've been doing this for almost 10 years. And we say the same things over and over because we lose these close games every time.
yep,
You miss a field goal, costs you. 1 turnover, 1 penalty, or 1 bad call. We have to figure out a way to get on the other side of it. Because if you look at the 9 years we've been doing this, if you reverse all the 1-score losses that we had to wins, we'd be like a top 10 team in the country.
Oh, easy. Oh, yeah.
It's flabbergasting.
Yeah. Positive.
Oh, yeah.
Positive.
That's right.
Going back to our defense, big shout out to a couple different guys on defense that I think, we're outstanding this year. Number 1, Omar Brown.
Yes, he was very good.
Omar Brown.
And he's a senior.
Omar Brown
Senior,
was outstanding for a senior. He had just an amazing year. He had multiple interceptions, had some great tackles. He did have chased down guys a couple times, but he was absolutely incredible, if you ask me. I was just so impressed with him. I hope he gets a shot at the combine and to show what he can do at the next level. He makes me think of like a Cam Taylor-Britt. He's like a Cam Taylor in coverage, tackling,
Excuse me.
and look where Cam Taylor is now. I definitely can see
Cam Taylor's
him
getting interceptions like every week.
pretty much every week.
You think he'll get a combine invite?
I hope he does. I really do.
I don't know that he will, but
He might not, but I hope he
might
will.
go undrafted free agent and
Yeah.
make a roster. May play some special teams.
Yeah. But I do think I would love to see it. I don't know if it'll happen, but I'd love to see it. Number 2, this is a guy that we ragged on last year a lot. The coaches didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know, hey, do we play on defense? Do we play on offense? Do we put you on special teams? What do we do with you? Tommy Hill.
We hated on him hard.
And it wasn't even say hated. He was just not good.
He was not good
on either side of the ball.
No.
And they kept putting him in and giving him chances. And now I'm glad they did because guess what? He knew he needed to work and improve. And man, Tommy Hill. If we did helmet stickers, which might be a fun thing to do next year, if we did helmet stickers, I would definitely he would have gotten a ton this year. Tommy Hill, you played an amazing game yesterday. Had some good pass breakups. And I love Quentin Newsom too. I don't want to forget about him. But those two guys I really want to give a shout out to is Omar and Tommy Hill.
Yeah.
Tommy, that interception.
Newsom you just don't really talk about because they don't really throw at him. And if they do and he gets beat, it's like, man, that was rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tommy Hill exceeded my expectations because I'd given up on him.
And that interception should have won the game.
Yeah, agreed.
Should have won the game. The Lynham hold, unfortunately, pushed us back 15 yards. It wasn't a good hold. He was doing his best. I mean, it is what it is. He's a guy that doesn't play every game. He's a guy that played because of injuries. He got shot. I'm not blaming him for anything. That is just rough. If they had to call a hold at any point in the game, I guess that's the one they're going to call. Say that about the refs too. But again, I don't.
Michigan was not the '97 national champions. Just saying.
No, they were not. No, they were not. Sorry, that blast up on TV that Michigan was the '97 champs. We all know that Nebraska would have whooped them in '97.
Gosh, we would have beat that.
Absolutely no chance in hell. The only reason why Michigan fans think they would have won is because the kick against Missouri, the kick catch. That's the only reason why they want to point that out. But we would absolutely
barely beat
them.
Ryan Leaf in Washington State, and we killed Peyton Manning.
Yes. So. Anyways, we should have been outright champs. We also have the big trophy too.
That was off script. Sorry.
But
like there's a script.
Like there's a script. Yeah. What's that? But no. 24 seconds left in the game. We have the chance to win the game, and we burned 2 timeouts. We burned all of our 3 timeouts. We burned them, and the challenge that we had was awful. That was a really dumb challenge by Rule. It wasn't even close.
You have to have somebody up in the booth, right, that sees it, and you say, all right, no.
Exactly.
Let's not do it.
So who told Rule to challenge that?
I don't know.
So that's stupid. We lost a timeout. The second timeout, we didn't have the right guys on the field.
Yeah.
They weren't. No. Second timeout, we're gonna try to draw them off sides or kick a field goal. I don't know what the hell we were doing. We lined up for a field goal, and Alvano's not out there to kick.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, what do we do? Then we have to burn a timeout. We should have been punting anyways. But why are we doing that? Make up your mind. Are you punting? Because you're not going to draw them off sides on a fake field goal opportunity. That's stupid. So I don't get that. And then we burned the third one because of personnel problem. Guys didn't know who was supposed to be on the field, who's in. So that is not only offense coordinator, that's on Rule. God, sorry, we're going negative. That was frustrating, though. That was very frustrating because we burned timeouts again when we shouldn't have. And then the week before, we should have burned timeouts and we didn't.
Agreed. I'll never understand it.
Yeah, and we ran a play before the challenge. So we actually had that was a false start, Donnie. We had a false start before the challenge. But
that's right.
I just so Tristan wasn't paying attention. Oh, we were running a fake. That actually makes sense, Jamie. We were probably running a fake field goal there. That makes sense. But either way, Tristan, nobody knew what they were doing. Our placeholder's out there, where the hell's my kicker? I'm supposed to run this for a first down, and he's not out here. That's frustrating. Again, that's clock management, that's game preparedness, that's having your players ready. Who's in charge of player personnel on the sideline, and who's getting prepared for that next play. So that there was a lack of continuity there, and that killed us. That really did. I mean, those are game-changing moments outside of the refs and some of their bad calls. Those were also very much game-changing moments that could have determined the outcome of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure who our special teams coordinator is. But I know for a few years there with Frost, we didn't have one, and we were always really bad, and it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, nobody knows.
So, I don't know.
Oh, Rule said in his post-game conference it was supposed to be a fake. Okay. I didn't listen to all of it, Jamie. Thank you.
Okay, I did not see that.
Yep.
I pretty much just shut everything down after the game yesterday because I just didn't want to deal with it.
It's frustrating.
I did give a shout-out before the game to the Orange Hawkeye hat guys and just said, hey, good luck today. Win or lose, I hope it's a good game. And they were really appreciative and really nice. And
they're nice dudes. They'll give a shit after a loss like that because they know that game was ugly.
Yeah, and I mean, they know that they're won a lot of ugly games this year. But they're 10-2 going to the Big Ten Championship. So
it's going to be interesting. Kirk Ferentz was in tears after the game.
So is Brian coaching in the Big Ten Championship?
I'm sure he is.
Okay.
But here's
done at the end of the season?
Yeah, but I'm sure was that why he was crying, or is he done coaching too? Is he going to retire? He's always said he's not going to fire his son. Someone else did it. Is he going to stick around, or is he coming back?
He makes pretty good money for doing a mediocre job, for being mediocre at his job. And don't get me wrong, they won 10 games. And
Yep.
they've done that several times. But for being just mediocre, he makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Longest tenured coach in college football.
Yes. So will he retire? I think he's still got a few years left on the contract. He's just like through 2029 or something like that. 2027 or 29, one of the two. But I don't know. Yeah, right? He's like 70-something years old. I mean, he loves the game. I'm not a fan of Kirk personally, but
I don't know that I would, if he was our coach, I just don't know that I could be happy every week.
yeah, I mean, again,
Not that I'm happy every week now, anyway.
Yeah.
We lose by one score every game.
Yep. So again, I don't know if he's going to retire or not. But the emotion after that game, it's not because he beat Nebraska. I think it's either because his son's not going to be with him next year, so his last regular season game with his son, or because it might have been his last time coaching at Memorial Stadium. Because maybe next year's his last year. He won't coach at Memorial next year.
Right.
So anyway, he loves Memorial Stadium that much because it's awesome. And it's so much better than Kinnick. But yeah, Jamie, you're right. Yeah, we would kill. We would kill. Some people said, what would you do? We've talked about doing this, going up to Husker fans at a Husker game, saying, what would you do for a national championship? What would you give up? What would you do? What would you say? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think we've already sold our soul, and that's why we got 3 in 4 years. So that's why we aren't ever going to be good again. What would I give for a national championship? I don't know. What would you?
Nothing. It's not that important to me. Like, I would love a national championship, but I'm not giving you anything. I'm not giving anybody anything, especially the devil and my soul.
No,
It's mine.
no.
Your soul is mine.
That's like, would you give your dog up for $1 million? Absolutely not. I love my dogs.
Well, I'd take the $1 million and I'd buy him back. I mean, you got to think outside the box. But, no. I don't got anything else left for football. Again, I think, it sucks, but like I mentioned on one of the posts is, don't be sad that it's gone. Just be glad that it happened. And it sucks that we didn't have a winning season. But I think 5 wins is a lot better than what a lot of people really thought was going to happen. With Rule coming in his first year, a lot of people might have said 2-3 wins. I didn't. I said, no, mine was 7-5 this year.
Mine was 7-5. You kept saying 9-3, bro.
Well, I did that for fun. But I told Carricker, and he can vouch for me. I said 7-5.
I said 7-5.
And I got a text from my buddies.
And we really should have gone 7-5.
We should have. If not better. But it was a fun year with everybody. Here's the deal. We're not done. 2 Average Guys is not going anywhere. But before I talk about what's coming next, I do want to mention that we do have our 2 Average Guys merch. So got a sweatshirt on. Jimmy's got a hat, sweatshirt. Brian's got his sweatshirt on today. We got T-shirts. We got all sorts of stuff on our merch store.
Oh, I was going to bring my tumbler down.
Oh, you didn't bring your tumbler. Jeez.
Those are sweet.
But right now through the end of tomorrow for Black Friday, we're not doing Cyber Monday because that's just, whatever. Maybe I'll extend it today, but we do have free shipping on our merch right now. So free shipping through
And I had people at Thanksgiving ask about it.
There,
so.
well, send them the link. Let them know.
Yeah.
Free shipping right now. Through the end of day tomorrow. Maybe I'll extend it today for Cyber Monday, but we'll see. But right now, links on our page. So definitely check that out. It's in a couple of our posts as well. If you're on Instagram, it's in our bio. But check out our Shopify account. Go order some merch if you'd like support. We're not actually a business,
No.
but we would appreciate the support. So if you want to rock your 2 Average Guys stuff.
Like, Nick Gorup sent me pictures yesterday of him wearing his sweatshirt. He loved it. Our parents, I had a bunch of people.
A lot of family, yeah.
People were wearing some of it, so.
Mm-hmm. So we do appreciate the support. Now, what's next? Ross, it was sad, but we love you. Glad you're here. So what's next? So football's over, which normally for us, that means we're kind of over for a while. Maybe until next football season, we maybe do a little bit in the postseason. But what we want to do this year, we're going to try to kind of expand what we've been doing. We've really focused on football for nine seasons now.
Right.
We do some volleyball stuff here and there as far as posting and talking about it, but maybe a
little baseball.
Really want to expand that. And first of all, also want to give a shout out to Backswing Brewing this year for the beer, for the fun. We've done a couple shows there live. They've been fantastic. So thank you,
TJ's
Backswing.
best.
Thank you, Backswing, for the love. Really appreciate everything you've done for us this year. we'll continue to market backswing and continue to do
We'll
stuff.
do
with you
more
guys,
events
too.
there. So if you haven't been out to one yet, please do. I had family this week that were like, we haven't made it out, but we really want to. It's so much fun.
And even just go out there for fun. I mean, it's a nice spot, nice big space.
It is big.
Get some friends and family for football.
You can bring your own food in. You can do whatever you want.
Yep. Follow their socials too, because they do a lot of food trucks now. So check out food trucks when they get there. That'll be fun too, especially in the wintertime. So
a couple dollars off pints for happy hour and stuff like that. So there's always a lot of people in there just chilling, having a good time.
Yeah. Yep. So Ross would love for us to make a studio with mics and stuff. I'll donate to that. Hell yeah, Ross, we'll take that. We've been talking about an upgrade on kind of what we know for mics and and how we want to make that happen. So logistically, we're in a basement right now. We also do have full-time jobs, and so trying to find time and space to make sure that we can get together and really do awesome. I mean, we made a lot of improvements this year. Brian's been amazing as our producer. Thank you, Brian, for helping us out so much.
Shout out.
Brian's been amazing, and we've done a
It's
lot
been our most fun year ever.
We've done a lot of new things this year, so we want to continue to do that.
And Ross, if you could go back to 9 years ago, it'd be a lot different if you want to go back and watch some of those old.
A lot different. So we've done a lot more, but we do plan on getting better and better as we move on. So we want to talk about what's next. So basketball season is kicked off. Basketball 6-0.
Not the biggest basketball fan, but if we're good, we're good.
Hey, I'm going to become a basketball fan because I want to continue to engage with those people that love watching and hanging out with us because it's always fun.
And we are a red state, so we're going to beat Creighton again.
Heck yeah.
We did last year.
Heck yeah. So we will be basketball fans because, again, this is just fun for us. Thanks, Jamie. This is fun for us, so we want to keep the fun up. We also don't want to lose some of our new followers because we gained quite a bit this year, gained quite a big uptick in our following. So we want to continue to engage with you guys. So basketball. We also have women's volleyball. It's not over yet, so we want to cover some women's volleyball.
Yeah.
Softball, yes, softball's going to be hot again this year. And then we're also going to have baseball, obviously right around the corner. Another thing that we're going to do too.
I'm a diehard baseball fan.
Yeah, we both love baseball. But another thing we can do, and that we've talked about doing, is UNO Mavericks hockey. So there's
big hockey fans.
There's actually a pretty big UNO hockey following here in Omaha, of course.
Yes.
But there's some people that get together, and TJ over at Backswing had talked to them about, hey, he was talking to another business. And said, hey, do they follow UNO hockey? Because we have a lot of people come and watch UNO hockey games here. And we're like, yeah, dude, we're huge fans. So we want to dive into UNO hockey because we text each other during games all the time, and we both watch the games too.
We have NCHC TV, so we can watch all the games if we don't go.
Yes, so we do watch the games as well. So that's going to be fun. So we talked about covering UNO hockey. So we're going to figure out kind of scheduling-wise what we want to do next, when we want to do it.
Oh, we're doing the volleyball event, right?
Yeah, we're going to have a volleyball event. That's not till the spring, so we'll have more information about a volleyball fundraiser with some ex-volleyball players as well, so that's going to be a lot of fun. We'll get more information out about that too. But we do have playoff football coming up with the college football playoff. We have all of our conferences that are just imploding at the end of the year. So we're going to have new conferences next year, new teams and new conferences. So next year is going to be interesting as well. So we're going to take some time to adjust to who's in what conference, but I'm excited.
And a 12-team playoff.
Yes,
next year.
Yes, so that's
going to be very interesting.
The college football landscape with NIL, with portal, and now with the 12-team playoff and the conferences changing is going to absolutely be incredible.
It's going to be more of an NFL vibe, if you will. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot different.
Yeah,
but I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So we have to adjust too. Hopefully we see some better football too from the Huskers next year. But one thing I do know is we'll continue to cover football throughout the end of the year, and
then
then
going to be two average guys.
We're never gonna be above average. So that's the one thing you guys can always count on is we are always just average, not below, not above, average. And that's why we love doing this.
You're middle of the road. Kind of a deal.
Oh, Jamie, hey, absolutely. Hey, send us a message, Jamie, about hockey. For one, I've talked to Gabinet. I love Gabinet. Gabs he's great, fun to talk to. He's great with the fans, great with the kids. I've taken my kids to games, and we've talked to him on some fan nights, and he just loves talking to them.
I love their little celebration after they is it win or is it sweep?
They do their fight song.
The fight song? Yeah,
Yep.
I love that.
We'll fight for our Mavericks.
Yeah, that's awesome. With the fans, that'd be so fun as a 20-year-old, 22-year-old, whatever.
It's fun as a 36-year-old.
It's fun. I was gonna say.
I go down there and I enjoy it too when they get the dub. But anyways, yeah, Jamie, I absolutely would love some hockey contacts. But we are going to be expanding here, and we want to do more. Just continue to have fun throughout the entire year, and then we'll kick it back up for football season. And again, there's going to be stuff happening in football throughout the year too that we can talk about.
Gosh, it's almost like every other team we're going to follow is going to be better than our football that we that we're doing this for. The volleyball, UNO hopefully makes the tournament this year. It's all fun. We have fun, so appreciate you guys joining. It's a blast every week. So
yeah, absolutely.
And
Ross, good news. We are live on YouTube as well. Yeah. So you can actually watch this live on YouTube. It might actually post it after the show. I don't know. But we have to have a certain amount of followers on YouTube in order to do an actual live show on YouTube. So if we want to broadcast live, we got to get like 100 plus followers, I think what it is, and or 1,000. Yeah, so tell your friends, pass it on. So, but anyways, hey, we're about up here. We got a few minutes left, so we're gonna give a big shout out. Yeah, shout out to Leahy on his 1,000th game on the radio. That's pretty incredible.
Yes,
that was really cool. The celebration they did for him yesterday, Jamie. I love seeing that for Don Leahy. So very awesome for his 1,000th game on the radio call. That's all I got, guys. Jamie, Ross, Donnie, our usuals. We had Ben on the show. We had a couple of Miguel on the show. A couple other people that we haven't seen on the show. Appreciate y'all commenting. Mike, sitting and sipping. We got more collabs coming with them.
Mike, let's get together.
Absolutely.
Brother.
And that's the fun off-season thing.
That is. We should do something at Backswing because they want you guys there.
Yes, and we should talk hockey with you guys. So let's do that.
Mike, let's do it.
We can even dabble in the NHL if you guys want. So
yeah, we definitely could. Mike's a Red Wings fan.
Oh, that's fun then. My Blues lost 8-3 yesterday. We don't need to talk about that though. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys. Hey, appreciate you. I'm going to crack open this last beer. I'm Matt.
I'm Jimmy.
We are Two Average Guys. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Watch some football. 27-24. Michigan is up with like a minute left and minute 10 left in the fourth quarter. Fourth and 4 for Ohio State. They got the ball.
No, Michigan has the ball.
Woo.
Ohio State missed a field goal.
So Michigan seals it right here. So appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of the day. Go Mavs. Go Huskers. Go Big Red.
Yep. Go Big Red.
Love you guys.
See you next time, whenever that is, whatever we're doing.
Soon. We'll get some more information out. Appreciate you guys. Take care.
Come on. Good game, everybody. Yeah. I think it's safe to say that all these friggin' came out here to watch a game of football. John, spring commercial. Yeah, I know. I'm just making conversation. Come on. Football! Come a running, boys. Don't you hear the noise? Like the thunder in sunshine.
They buy Austin a car?
In a good song from the sons of Nebraska. Now it's coming.